Alrighty, friends. We might do our speaker first and then we'll do our posters. Friends, who can tell me what we talked about on Monday? Yep, Eden, what did we talk about? David and Goliath, and what did we learn on Monday? God is bigger, yes, absolutely, absolutely. God is bigger than anything. Tuesday, what did we do on Tuesday? Mia? Yeah. Yeah, Meshach, Shadrach, in the fiery furnace. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yesterday, what did Kevin and Nevin talk about yesterday? Lenny? Pardon? Yes, Moses parting the Red Sea. And what did we learn? Can you all do it? Victory! Absolutely, absolutely. God is a God of victory. And today we are looking at Christmas. So I'm going to invite the wonderful Brian up. And he is going to tell us why we're talking about Christmas in July and how it fits with all of these other stories that we learned about this week. Brian.
Thanks for that, Millie. You know, I haven't been here, so Millie did steal some of my thunder. If I come here, what was David's superpower? Did he have a superpower? He had courage, didn't he? He was fearless. Loyalty, well, I think that might be this one. Going into the fiery furnace. Did they have a superpower? Again, God was their protection, but they were fearless. They had courage. They made sure that they could trust God. And here we had Moses. What was Moses' superpower? Do you think? The waves, and he was able to part the waves because God was on his side. And so God rescued them. So in each of these we've seen people who've trusted God and known, because they trusted God, that they could have courage and be fearless. That if they were faithful, God protected them and God rescued them. But what's God's superpower? God has everything, but the Bible has a verse that says God is something. God is love. And our theme today is actually about God's love. I don't know about you, but I like who likes their pets? Who's got a dog? Who's got a cat? Who's got a bird? Who's got a reptile? Like a lizard? Anyone got a spider? Turtle? If you want your dog to do what you say, well, does it listen to you? I think it does its own thing, doesn't it? We've got a cat, and our cat doesn't always do what we ask it to do. It does what it wants to do. So when God wanted to help people and help them know what to do, he became a human being. God became human. And that's what this story is about, is God became a human being because he became Jesus. And Jesus is both human and God. So some of you know the story, some of you maybe not so well. So I'm going to retell the story and I might need your help. Let me just bring this forward. What is that thing there? It's a pink frame. But you wait till you see what happens to this pink frame. this pink frame helps me tell a story. When Jesus was born, where did it happen? Did it happen in a palace? Happened in a manger in a stable. It happened at night, so maybe we'll make this a night time. Look at that. And you said it happened in a stable. So what's in a stable? Some animals? Let's put some animals in our stable. And it was made of wood, so let's make it look a bit more like a stable. They're not actually trees, they hold the roof up of the stable. And we also, what else did we have there? We had a manger. Okay, let's put a manger in the story. It looks 3D. Isn't it amazing? So we've got a manger, but something's missing. Yeah, even before Jesus, how did Jesus get there? Mary. We're missing a donkey. Let's put a donkey in, shall we? There was a donkey in the manger, but Jesus also came on a donkey. And what else should we have in our... You want some sheep? Okay, here's some sheep. How did you know that there would be sheep? And Mary's, well, she's already had the baby, so she's sitting by the manger. Now, someone else is also missing. Who was Mary's husband? Joseph. Let's put Joseph in the story. Because she's very clever. And Mary has the baby Jesus. And then she puts the baby into the manger. And we think of Jesus being the greatest gift of all. Now that evening, there were some people in the fields. There were shepherds. And what did they do? So they came with, they didn't actually have gifts. They came with a couple of sheep. But those sheep did not become roast lamb. They came and they worshipped the baby. And then the shepherds went to tell everyone about Jesus. Now, there's a bit of debate around the wise men and when they came, but for the sake of the story, the other people who came were wise men. I like to call them the wise guys. Right? They came with gifts that they would normally give to a king because they, from looking at the star, they saw that Jesus was very, very important. And so they came with gifts of gold, frankincense, which is a spice, and myrrh, which is an ointment. And so those gifts they brought and they gave to Mary. and Joseph. They gave gifts, but the greatest gift of all was Jesus. And then the wise men, they went back to their home. So the story tells us that God's superpower is actually love. And because God loves you, and you, and you, He wanted to restore that relationship. So all of these guys, David, well, he was actually Jesus' great-great-great-great-grandfather. David pointed towards Jesus. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were faithful, and they also point towards Jesus. The Passover and the rescue of the Israelites are because God used the story of Israel so that Jesus could be born. So all of these point towards Jesus. And now from the other side, because we're later in time, we look back to Jesus. Because the birth and then the life and death of Jesus is actually the centre of the whole story of history. We want to share with you and have been sharing with you all about Jesus, just as David and Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego and Moses point to Jesus. We also want to point to Jesus. Maybe you can do that with me. Can you point to the baby that's there? And your leaders are here because they want to point to Jesus and say Jesus is the most amazing gift, person and thing that we could ever have. So if nothing else from this whole camp, talking about mega moments, the most epic story in the whole Bible is the story of the birth of Jesus. And we want you to remember that because it shows God's love for you. Okay, I need to put the stable away. Who do I hand back to? To Millie.
Thank you, Brian. Alrighty, friends. It is our final rally. These